Hey YouTube, Jeremy here with Simple Little Life, and I'm waiting for another video to upload, and I thought while that's going on, I'm going to take this opportunity and just do a quick little update review on the Bark River Bravo EDC. I did a quick video when I had first purchased the knife, and now that I've used it for several months, I kind of want to let you know some more thoughts on it. First we'll get to the blade, and I've got nothing but good to say about the blade. It's a good quality knife. I've used this every day for past, I think it's like 4 months I've had it. And it works fantastic. I keep it sharp with a strop, so I've never actually taken a stone to it yet. But every 2 days usually I'll just give it a few wipes on a leather strop, and it stays shaving sharp. And I had this on when I got my deer earlier this year with a bow, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try dressing it with this knife. And I was quite surprised how well it did. This was the only blade I used to field dress my deer, and it worked fantastic, even cutting through some of the bone that's required. And it worked. I was actually shocked how well it worked for that. And then I've also dressed 4 ducks and one Canadian goose with this. And to the point that, you know what, they don't market it as that, but this is a great blade for processing game. Now, I wouldn't say, yes, this is a good hunting knife, but I was actually shocked how well it worked. Other than that, I use it like every day for cutting bale twine on bales, processing like tinder and small shavings for my fires. I start fires pretty much every single day out in my sea can for my wood stove. And every time I do it, I like to do it as if it was a one-time campfire, just so I get practiced and practiced and practiced. And I'll use different blades and this and that. And I've used this one a lot, and it works really well. The one time I noticed a drawback with its size is when you're doing heavy carving, or if you really want to get off some big twigs or something like that. Any knife, blade, and handle of this size is going to leave you a little lacking. When you're really hogging down on something, it's nice to have a stout handle and a slightly longer blade. But having said that, for the way this thing is built and designed, it works really well. Also, it's not marketed as a camping knife or a hunting knife or a bushcraft survival knife. It's an EDC knife. And to that end, it performs really, really well. The one bummer that I found with this is in the sheath. I like the sheath design. I think it's fantastic, and I'd paid the $20 to get the waterproofing on it, and that works really well. I was outside in quite a downpour for 2 hours, and thought, well, this will be a good test for this. And my jacket came to about here, and this was completely soaking wet, but my knife was bone dry inside, which was I was really glad to see that. The thing that I don't like about it is how malleable it is. I don't think a fixed blade knife sheath should be this flexible. I know it's good quality leather, and there's times when you want a lot of flexibility in your leather, but I think for the fixed blade, I like it to be very stiff. And the problem I had is after 2 months, the blade ended up cutting through all this stitching here. And I threw a little epoxy on it, and that's coming apart again. You can see the epoxy. Maybe you can't kind of see the epoxy in there. But having a knife like this, you spend $200 on it, you don't want to see the tip of your knife sticking out of your sheath after 2 months. And that was kind of disheartening to me. I was kind of like, oh man, you know, I don't think this is not a sheath that I think I can use every day for years. This is a sheath that looks good, and if you're going to take it out, you know, maybe just when you're hiking or something, then it'd be okay. But even with the blade in there, you see how flexible this is. Eventually the tip is just going to poke right through there, and this is going to permanently fail. So if you're considering buying this knife, unless this is just a flaw, I haven't contacted Bark River yet. I should probably do that, but I don't know if that has to do with the treatment being on here, or maybe if you have experience with this knife or other sheaths from Bark River, you could maybe comment and let me know what you find out. Is this a one-time thing, or do they always do this? I'm not entirely sure, but if it's not a big deal to you, if you don't mind either making a Kydex sheath, buying a Kydex sheath, I'm probably going to make a Kydex for this one eventually, or having to replace it with another leather sheath, a custom-made leather sheath of some type. If that doesn't bother you, then you can't go wrong with this knife. But for the money, if I were to do it again, knowing this, I probably wouldn't buy this. I'd look for some other options. So that's why I kind of want to share this video, is that it's a lot of money for a knife. Great knife design, great sheath design, but the sheath is already failing, and I think I don't think that's very good. That kind of bothers me. So I just want to put this out there and let you know what I found to be true. And again, please, if you have other experiences with Bark River knives, with their sheaths, Maybe it is just the waterproof treatment, but maybe put those in the comments so we can kind of figure out what's going on here and help each other out. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Cheers.